come from China. Now I study in Chiang Mai University, Faculty of Economics. Today I will present my thesis research report. It's a talk about the financial risk analysis of Yuebao users' assets. So this is my contest today. Its total include 5 parts. The first part is introduction. So because Yuebao is such a new word, so I need to explain what is the Yuebao at first. Actually, Yuebao is a add money, add value service. It's provided by Alipay. So there are 4 important parts related with the Yuebao. And this is the option process of Yuebao, so I will explain it. The ad financial company provides the Alipay, and the Alipay launched the Yuebao. The user can register in Yuebao. Then they transfer their ad money to the Yuebao. The Yuebao will help the user purchase or redeem the Zenlibao money funds. And the Zenlibao money funds is issued by the Tianhong Management Corporation. And the CITIC Bank is a trustor of the Zenlibao. So why we need to do the financial risk analysis of Yuebao? There are 3 main reasons. The first reason is rapid expansion of asset scale. Because such a new things, so the Yuebao attract lots of users. The rapid expansion of the Yuebao users' asset scale, it's leading to liquidity risk for Yuebao. And the second reason is the novel sale method. Because the novel sale method, the Yuebao combine with the internet sale to sell their money funds, so they attract a large potential user. But for this user, almost of the user are not understand the investment. That means they don't think they invest in the investment market. They just think the Yuebao is the institute of the bank deposit. The third reason is the lack of the supervision. Because China's internet financial industry starts late, so it's a lack of government supervision. So for our research, we will measure the risk level of Yuebao, so we can help the user understand what's the risk they will face when they use the Yuebao. So they help them to do best choice when they investment. And also we can provide some database for government to control the Yuebao's risk. And because the Yuebao is a new product, so they also want to improve themselves. From 2017 to 2018, they do a big reform. The reform divided for 3 steps. The first step, they control the daily purchase amounts. And the second step in 2018, they furthermore to control the daily purchase amounts. And until 2018 December, they launched a new type of Yuebao. As before, the user just can choose 1 monetary fund, which named Zenlibao. And now they can choose 2 investments from 14 kinds of monetary funds. So in our research, we also will calculate how the Yuebao reform will affect the user's risk level. So the second part is the literature review. I divided the literature review in into different parts. The first part is the literature review of Yuebao. From this part, we can get there are many risk factors in the to lead to the risk of Yuebao, but no one to calculate what's the degree of the risk level. So and especially after Yuebao reform, everything changed, but still no one to calculate what's the Yuebao risk level. So our research will do for that. And the second part is the literature review. And from this part, we can get the GARCH model combined with the VAR model is a good model to calculate the risk level of financial assets. And the third part is the methodology and the data. First, I need to introduce the VAR model. The VAR model is proposed by the JP Morgan, and the VAR means the maximum loss that an asset or portfolio may suffer over a period of time at certain level of confidence. And the equation one is show the equation to calculate the VAR value. P0 is the internal value of assets, theta is the variance, C is the quantile, and the T is the holding period. For our research, we will use the Garch model to calculate the conditional variance instead of the variance of original data. And next, I will introduce the Garch model. And the Garch model first proposed in 1986. And there are two important equations in Garch model. One is a conditional mean equation, and one is a conditional variance equation. It's shown like in equation 2 and equation 3. From 1991 to 1993, in order to reflect the asymmetric effect of volatility, we proposed a new Garch model, which named the Tarch model. In Tarch model, we have a dummy variable. The variance equation shown in equation 4, and the dummy variable is I. And at mu less than 0, the I will equal to 1. Otherwise, the I will equal to 0. And in 1990s, we again proposed a model, Garch model, that allows theta square and mu to have more flexible relationship. The equation shown in equation 5 in 1993, we proposed a new Garch model, which is more suitable with the deviation Garch model. It's a Parch model, and the Parch model equation show the variance equation of Parch model show in equation 6. And for our research, we will create the 4 model and use the AIC value to select the optimal one to calculate the condition variance and setting the VAR model. And for the data, because we will calculate the risk from the investment and the risk from the financial corporation, so we use two different data. We use the daily rate of return to represent the investment risk, and the average close price of financial concept stock to represent the risk from the financial corporation. The fourth part is the result and the discussion. First, we will log return our data and use LNIR to represent the rate of return and LNAC to represent the average closing price. So first, we will do the JB test. The results shown in table 1. From the result, we know both of the rate of return and the average closing price are not normal distribution, and they both have the characteristic of peaky sticky tail. And then we will test the unit root. The results shown in table 2. We use the ADF to test the unit root. From the results, we know there is no unit root for both average closing price and the rate of return. So that means both of the data are stationary. And then we will create the Garch model, Tarch model, eGarch model, Parch model with the normal distribution, T distribution, and GED distribution. The results shown in table 3. From the result, we know the Garch model with T distribution is the best model to estimate the variance of the average closing price. And the Tarch model with the GED distribution is the optimal model for estimates the variance of rate of return. So then we use the optimal model and add the dummy variable to calculate the variance and how the Yuebao reform to affect the risk level. The results shown in table 4. From the result, let we see the coefficient of dummy variable. Both of the data, the coefficient are negative. That means the Yuebao reform will decrease the risk level of the Yuebao. So then we get the conditional variance and set it in the equation 1, the VAR model, and then we can calculate the VAR value of three different confidence level. The results shown in table 5. From those results, maybe we can get some conclusion. The first conclusion, the Gauge VAR model with GED distribution and the Touch VAR model with the T distribution is the optimal model to measure the rate of return of many funds and the average closing price. And the second is results show that risk of Yuebao's investment in mandatory funds is not high. However, it considers the hidden risk brought by the Ant Financial Corporation. The risk of user using Yuebao to investment will increase significantly, but risk level is still within the acceptable rate. And the third, Yuebao reform not only reduce the investment risk of many funds, but also reduce the risk from the Ant Financial Company. So that means in medium and short term, user also can use the Yuebao instead of the bank deposit, because in medium and short term, the risk from the Ant Financial will not affect our asset risk level. And also, if we use the Yuebao, we can get more returns than we deposit in bank. That's all my presentation. Thank you for your listening.
Thank you very much for your presentation.